We will start the program with prayer. First, we will do Ganesh prayer. Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Guru Stotram. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamulam Guru Murtihi, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Shanti Prarthana. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With pranams to Lotus feet of Swami Bodhananda, and with pranams to everybody that attended here. And are there anybody who are attending for first time here? And just I would like to give some brief introduction what we are doing here. And my name is Anil Prasad, and I am physician by profession, and I am a spiritual seeker by passion, and I am the disciple of Swami Bodhananda Saraswati, who is the head of Sambodh Society, Kalamazoo, on 6363 North 24th Street. And I have been disciple of him for last 5 years. And under his discipleship, he taught me the whole BhagavadGeeta for 3 years and very much in depth. And after completing teaching, he wanted me to talk about BhagavadGeeta and make a sincere attempt to take BhagavadGeeta into the homes of Kalamazoo people. So that's what we are doing now. And even the beginning I thought it's a very, very, very difficult task to get 18 hosts throughout the year, every other week, non-stop. But by divine grace and Guru's grace, it has been going on non-stop without any break. Every other week we are finding a host and we are going on. We have been doing this, and now we have come to the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and all the 18 slots have been filled, and we don't have left with any. And actually somebody is on waiting list. If any spot opens up, he wants to get it filled. So that is the power of Bhagavad Gita. That's what I sincerely feel. So that is the power of the Bhagavad Gita. When we plan it wholeheartedly with the blessings of the very, very, very learned people like Swamiji, things just happen the way that it should happen. So this is the 10th chapter that we are doing. There's a lot to cover. Now, we started around 5 minutes ago. But Swamiji gave me a very, very, very difficult task in doing this. He told me that I should complete the whole chapter in 90 minutes. That is the time he allotted to me. I should not take more than 90 minutes. But I am trying my best to do it. Maybe I can go a little bit excess, maybe 3 minutes, but I will try my best to complete it in 90 minutes as he told me to do. Anil. And so this is how it goes. I will talk about, you have 42 slokas in this 10th chapter, which name is Vibhuti Yoga. And I am not going by sloka reading the Sanskrit. And to make it convenient, what I did is, I did a one-liner and two-liner for 42 slokas of Gita in a form of line-by-line format. And this is the content or translation of what is there inside that Sanskrit slokas. So we are not going to read the Sanskrit slokas because of the shortage of time, and we are just going by the content of the sloka, what Lord Krishna and Arjuna and others are talking about. That's what we are going to do. But in 90 minutes, I am planning to cover every sloka without leaving any one sloka, and we will try to touch it. But this is not the talk to give a complete summary or a complete discourse of the 10th chapter. We are trying to just get the gist out of it and take that message and content with you at home, and to get some stimulation to your brain, and then you can further develop and extend and go more deep into it whenever you have a finite time, and that is the intent of this talk. And I will let you know about what we are going to do after the talk, and I will announce about these further events of this program as we proceed. So without any more delay, we are almost 8 minutes from 6:30. So I will start with the Gita Dhyana Slokam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamruta Varshinim Bhagavatim Astadasatyayinim Ambatva Manusandhadami BhagavadGeeta Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Visala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Gnanamaya Pradipaha Prasanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Gnana Samudraya Krishnaya Gita Amruta Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Pardo Vatsah Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gītāmrutam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramadhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagal Guru Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stulmanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pasyanti Yam Yoginah Yasyantam Savidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. This 10th chapter is Vibhuti Yoga. In English, it is called the Yoga of Divine Glories. Bhuta, we have heard that word, Panchabhuta. This is how we knew this word, Bhuta, Panchabhuta. That is 5 elements. Also, we heard about that word, about Vividha Bhuta, that is, various creatures also we call it as Bhuta. And also, we also heard about Bhuta means some demonic things also we know that is Bhuta. So all these creatures, good or bad or whatever it is called, the whole thing is called as Bhuta. Vibhuta means Vividha Bhuta, that is called Vibhuta. So God is telling in this chapter about His various manifestations of this universe, an unmanifested God, how He manifested in the various forms, whether good or bad or qualities or inanimate objects or animate objects, how He has been manifested in various forms, being Himself an unmanifested form. That is the purpose of this chapter of Vibhuti Yoga and the Yoga of the Divine Glories. And here Lord Krishna and Arjuna is meeting in the war, in between the war. And Sri Krishna has a perfect plan for Arjuna to make him a self-realized person. And everything that is happening in that war is all predestined to make Arjuna ready for the receipt of the Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna is setting a stage and a perfect atmosphere where the Arjuna can get that and get it inside his heart and soul and become a self-realized person by the end of this Bhagavad Gita. And his goal is to exactly show what God is, that is Visvarupa, he wants to show to Arjuna finally, that is going to come in the 11th chapter. But up to this 10th chapters, what he has been doing is preparing the Arjuna to handle and assimilate and to understand that Visvarupa that he is going to see in the 11th chapter. And that is the reason he is gradually preparing from 1st to the 9th chapters, and now he is in the 10th chapter, before he is actually going to show to Arjuna what the God is. And any spiritual journey, if we think of, all the spirituality is made of a 3-word sentence. Well, all the spirituality is. That spiritual sentence is, I become Him. Those are the 3 sentences. I me, him, God, becoming, I, becoming God. So these are the three sentences that are there if you want to become a spiritual and you self-realize. And in these three sentences, the first one is I. I means who you are. And in the first chapter, as soon as Arjuna got confused and asked Krishna that I want to leave, then the second chapter, Krishna started with a Sankhya Yoga and tell him what he is. You are not the body, you are the soul. Your soul don't die. And all those things, different things. He analyzed the whole thing and he told what we are as a human beings and what we are not. We are not the bodies and we are the souls, that he explained. The first thing, what is I, in the form of Sankhya Yoga. Then he wanted to explain the second word in that sentence, become. Then to explain that becoming, he explained various yogas. Karma Yoga. How you go, how you become by Karma Yoga. How you become to Jnana Yoga. How you become through Dhyana Yoga. And like that, he explained with various yogas how to become. So he explained I, and he explained become, and what are you becoming? You are becoming God. So, if he does not explain what God is, that sentence is not complete. So he has to explain what God is. So in the mid of these explanations of various yogas, how to reach God, in the 7th chapter and in the 9th chapter, he touched a little bit of that subject of who God is. He told a little bit to Arjuna. In the middle of explaining the other yogas, who God is, in the 7th chapter and the 9th chapter. To prepare for Arjuna to understand what God is. Now he is coming on the 10th chapter and he is saying the whole chapter, 10th chapter, is dedicated to explain to Arjuna what God is, the third word of the sentence that we just discussed. I become God. I was discussed in the Sankhya Yoga, and become has been discussed in the various yogas, and God is going to explain in the yoga. And that is the reason we are starting with first thing, again. The very thing is open again. Why is he using the word again? Because he told already about this a little bit, an introduction of it in a 7th chapter and the 9th chapter, and he is telling again I am saying. What he is saying? I am saying, listen to my supreme word about the God. The word, after knowing which there is nothing more to be known. That is the word that he is going to talk about. And why he is telling only to Arjuna? Why not everybody? Because he loves Arjuna. To you who are beloved, he loves Arjuna. Why he loves Arjuna? Because he is the husband of his sister? No, it's not the relationship aspect. Because he got so much similarities. And there is connection between them. There is a match of the wavelength between the Krishna and the Arjuna. Because Krishna and Arjuna is like a lock and a key. I know about two kinds of relationships we see. Suppose two people are dating. They want to go to marriage. And in the dating process, The one person asked the girl, what are your likes? I like cooking. Okay. The boy says, okay, I don't like cooking. So we don't match each other. So we don't go forward. And another couple meet and they ask question, what? I like cooking. Oh, then what do you like? I like eating. So you like cooking, so I like eating. So we don't have a similar interest, but complementary interest. So one enjoys cooking and another enjoys eating. Perfect match, and their relationship will be a complete successful relationship. In the same way, here, Krishna wants to teach. Arjuna wants to learn. That kind of relationship between the Arjuna and the Krishna has, that is the reason why Krishna loves Arjuna so much and investing 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in the middle of the war field to bring the Arjuna to the level of himself. And that is the struggle that Arjuna is making. Why Krishna is doing this? What benefit that Krishna gets by teaching that 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in the hot sun? Because for the welfare of Arjuna. That is the relationship between Arjuna and the Krishna. Because he wants the welfare of the Arjuna. That's a good friend. When we say that we have to do things for the welfare of the other, not for welfare of ourselves. But we have a tendency, whenever we do something, what do I get out of it? That was the normal tendency that we do the work. But the ideal way of doing the work is what others get out of it. What I can give by doing this to the other person. That is exactly Krishna is doing. I am telling this for your welfare, but not for my welfare. And there is right now, the teaching started. Whenever we do any activity, we have to do the welfare of the other people. That's what Krishna is doing. Okay. Then, why he is again telling this? He already told a little bit in 7th chapter and the 9th chapter. And why this he is telling it again? And maybe there are other people who are listening this. Sanjaya is listening this. Vyasa, his other side, is listening. All the Duryodhanas and everybody is listening when Krishna was saying that. Maybe they might be thinking about this. Why this Krishna is again telling this guy in the middle of the war? Why? Arjuna can go and go to Google and go to the internet and can read it. That's easy. Why he is wasting time? Otherwise, I found a good sage who announced me, I will teach you self-realization in 30 days. So if you can come to me, I will give you self-realization in 30 days. I can go and sit in front of that great sage. I can listen to him. And why he is wasting the time, he might be thinking. Somebody might be thinking. Krishna might have read the thought. Somebody is thinking. He is answering that question. Hosts of the God don't know my origin. What are the gods mean? Gods mean host of the gods. Host means here our sense organs like ears, eyes, or tongue. These are the hosts. What are the gods? Because whoever controls this in the back of the mind, because a dead body also have an eye. But at the same time, but dead body cannot see, but we can see. That means there is an eye of the eye in the back of our eye, which make our eye to see the things. That eye is the God. This is just a physical eye. And the host of the eye is just this eye, and the back of the eye there is the divinity. The host of God means that is our sense organs, like listening by ears and the eyes and the tongue, these are them. If you just use this, you can't understand the divinity. That means if you put a tape recorder and listen to a lecture, you can't understand this. If you can read a BhagavadGeeta written by somebody, then you can read it, you can't understand it. If you just go and talk to a few people and chit-chat it, you can't understand it. How can you understand? You have to learn in a proper way by a renowned and a realized guru like Swamiji, then only it is possible. He is trying to say that. Then great sages who say that I am self-realized, if you go and learn Bhagavad Gita from them, you can't learn it. If somebody says, I am self-realized, that is the last person that we should go and learn spirituality. It is like a person is sleeping and telling, I am sleeping very, 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 very deep sleep. That means he is definitely not sleeping, right? If somebody says, I am dreaming very good, that means he is definitely not dreaming. In the same way, if somebody says, I am realized, please come to me, and I can self-realize you in 30 days, that is the last person that we should go to learn our spirituality. That's what he says. Great sages don't know my origin. Second sloka. Because I am the God of the gods. Because for your eye to see, I have to be there in the back of your eye to see. If you don't concentrate, your eyes cannot. So I am the one. I am the source of all your sense organs. So I have to cooperate from the back for you to learn. If you just read there on the lines, you can't understand. And I am the source of all the great sages who have been telling that I have been self-realized. So don't go to them. Sit down in front of me. I am telling you right now. Please don't think that kind of thoughts. Start listening to me. Okay. So, sense organs don't understand. Great sages don't understand. Then how can I understand? What should I do to make you understand? You should wash off your sin. Sin? What is the meaning of the sin? The meaning of the sin, the definition that I have given myself to understand sin to me, a personal definition which I have never seen, is self-ignorant nature is sin. Self, S, ignorant, I, N, nature, self-ignorant nature is sin. That means you are ignoring your sinner self. You are forgetting that you are God. You are forgetting that you are inner soul. If you forgetting and think that you are just a body, that means you are in sin. That means we are all sinners some way or the other. To some extent. Some people are 10% sinners and some people are 90% sinners, unless we are completely self-realized. So, when you are liberated from the sins, that means when you understand who you really are, not the body and the soul, then what happens? Since you know that you are body and the soul, and you are in a sin, you are in a state of confusion. What is the confusion? You say rope, and you see that rope as a snake. You see a post, and you imagine that post as a ghost. Because of what? Darkness. In the dark, you confuse. That is, what is the darkness that we have? Ignorance. So, when you have that kind of sin, you are deluded. When you bring the light there, which you thought that it was a snake, not a snake, it is a rope. That means the delusion is gone and you become undeluded. You was in sin and you have liberated from the sin by being of the knowledge. As soon as you get the knowledge, your delusion has gone, then you have become undeluded, then you brought the light and you will see the reality of the world. What is the reality of the world that he got? God is, that person knows me, I am unborn. How can we imagine God as unborn? Is there anybody in this universe that is unborn? So we can compare that unborn thing with the God so we can have an idea. Otherwise, how can we imagine God when he say unborn? Great example for that is time. Can anybody say in the world when the time was born, when the time started? We imagine time has no beginning. It has going on. But your watch may start after keying it, after it stopped. But that doesn't mean there is a time. The overall time, there is no beginning and there is no end. Thinking about the time, we can imagine that God was unborn. God says, I am beginningless. How can we imagine God when he says beginningless? Is there anything in this universe which is beginningless? So if we understand that, at least we can get a concept of the God. What is the one that is there in the universe which is beginningless? Space. Can you put the space? Space starts here and the space ends there? No. Space is there everywhere, wherever you go. You can't put a limitation to the space. It extends to this place, to that place. So, in the same way, God is a beginningless. And I am the great Lord of the worlds. And so far we know the one world, that is Earth. But scientists have been struggling hard to find the lives in other places. And recently I heard there are some planets like Earth, there is a possibility of the life elsewhere in the universe. I don't surprise down the line if they find a really heaven where the Indra was really saying, I don't get surprised because this science is going towards that direction and finding the other universe. And there are maybe certainly worlds. So he says worlds, that means they exist somewhere. If not found now, down the line, it is possible that we can find the living creatures other than the earth. It is still possible. Okay, forget about that. Is a myth. And what are the other worlds that Doc is talking about? Because I am a doctor, let me apply for some medical knowledge into it what doctor is talking about. Inside our body, we have many worlds. One digestive system itself is a big world. That's why after studying MD, people spend years of together by doing the gastroenterology. After gastroenterology, again colorectal surgeon. After colorectal surgeon, colon surgeon separate, rectal surgeon separate, each 5 years. So that means if you study from here to here, whole life is not possible if you study from one digestive system. So like that, we have so many worlds in it. Whole cardiology in one different world. Whole lung system is a completely different world. And whole your kidneys and whole excretory system is a different world. And who is taking care of all these worlds differently? Everybody is functioning on their own without interfering with anybody and cooperating and complementing with each other, making the whole body work the way that it should work. Who is doing all this? I am doing all this. And I am the great Lord of the all. And all these doctors, all these surgeons can do up to certain extent till that bird is there in the cage of the heart. Once the bird is get out of this one, no medical knowledge can save the dead cadaver. Once the bird is out of the heart cave. So that's the bird that dog is talking about. I am the great Lord of the whole world. How do you know? By liberating from the sin. What is the sin? Not knowing your nature, your ignorance. And when the ignorance not happen, delusion is gone and you become undeluded and you listen to the truth. That's what it says. Third one. And fourth and fifth we talk it continuously. Okay. Lord tells, he is a master of all the inanimate objects. Good. Understood. And Lord also said he is the master or Lord of all the animate objects. That's fine. Is there anything in the world which is not inanimate, which is not other than animals and the things? Is there anything in the world other than beings and the things? Yes, there are. Those are called as abstract things. That means thought. What is thought? It is a thing? No. It is a being? No. What is it? I don't know. Is it there? Yes. We are thinking. That's what we are doing every day. So there are certain things which is not a thing and which is not a being, but still there in this universe. Even those are things which are not a thing and a being, those also mean. That's what God is saying here. And what are those? Intellect. That's what we use all the time when make the decisions, we use the intellect. That's what Arjuna used in the first chapter whenever he saw his kith and kin and he used his intellect. No, I am not going to kill my own kith and kin. He used his intellect. Then he used his wisdom also. Oh, I should not kill. If I do, all Varna Sankara things will happen. And all those things, all the logics he put in front of Krishna, why he should not fight the war. And even Krishna told in the second one, you have been talking to me as if you are a great wise person. But you don't know what you are talking. And even Krishna used that word wise, that wisdom is nothing but Lord. And non-delusion, when Krishna explained to him all this delusion, and we talked about non-delusion just a minute ago, not seeing snake, seeing rope as a snake is a delusion, and seeing back a rope as a rope is a non-delusion. And when the intellect comes, when the wisdom comes, when that non-delusion comes, what will happen? You become a divinity start flowing inside you. When the intellect, wisdom and the non-delusion works, the intellect starts for you. Then you develop love. And when you develop love, what happens? You will develop forgiveness. Because you see yourself in the person who is in front of you. So if something happens, a mother, what is the child? Child is nothing but came from the mother. And that is the reason. Whatever the child does, the mother forgives because that child came from her. Then from there, we develop the forgiveness. Why do we forgive? We know the truth. We are non-delusion. We know we are not deluded. We are truth. What is? Because self is lying in every one of us. That's we know the truth. That truth is also God. And then you become self-restrained. When you know the truth, what happens? Then when the temptations come in front of you, the temptations, you use your intellect and you use your truth, then you can become self-restrained and you can have the self-control. That self-controlness is also God. Then when you have all this intellect, wisdom, non-delusion, forgiveness, and you self-control, what will happen? You feel calm all the time. You feel bliss. That bliss itself is nothing but the God. when you have that bliss, then you will have lot of titiksha, that is forbearance, tolerable capacity you will get. When you have that forbearance capacity, when you have that titiksha, when you can bear things, then you will know the difference, happiness. Pairs of opposites, then pain and the happiness. Pain and pleasure you try to equate and you will try to find the middle. You won't suffer when there is pain. You want to rise and you will be elated when you are happiness. You won't become bipolar. Then you will understand what is birth and death. And you understand what is birth and death. Birth and death is just for a body, not for the soul. You want to understand. And then you will know what is fear and the fearlessness, the other pair of opposite. Because why fear? Because there is no death to the body. You will come to the conclusion. And fearlessness also you will enjoy. And all these activities are nothing but me, that was Lord is saying. And when you do that, and you will develop non-violence. Because when you develop the love, and you don't injure anybody, and you will kind of non-violence, that non-violence is nothing but God. And you develop the equanimity, you will see all are equal. Because why? In everybody, the same divinity is living inside without any difference. So when you have that kind of notion, you will develop that equanimity. When you develop that equanimity, you develop the contentment. That means I don't have, because what I have inside is the self. So you will be happy with what you have. And then when you have all this, you develop the austerity. You become the peace. And you will develop an inner discipline in you. That discipline is also nothing but the God. When you get all this, what happened? You become a Swami. Right? When you have all these qualities, you become a Swami. When you become Swami, what do you get? Swami becomes famous in the world. So everybody is praising Swami and all that. And when you become famous, that fame is nothing but the God. And when he becomes famous, then when he really become God, then he works for beneficence. Whatever he does for the benefit of the others, not for himself. That beneficence also is nothing but the God. And when he does that, he can satisfy everybody, and people start criticizing the same person. He does not care. He just keep that his mission go on. Even that ill fame, which is misunderstanding, is nothing but the God. These are all different kinds of qualities of being arise from me alone. That's what he is saying in 4th and 5th chapters. Now, the Lord is talking about how this world has formed, how this whole universe has been formed. From the mind of Brahman, the 7 great sages have first come. 7 great sages first came. But this is a mythological 7 people. This is called Bhrigu, Marichi, Atri, Pulasya, Pulaketu, and all those, Vashishta and all those. But we are not interested in that. We are not interested in mythology or Puranas. We are interested in spirituality. So let us put that aside and let us talk about how can we apply that in our spirituality. Who are those 7 persons that first has come from Brahman? Those are 5 senses. 5 senses, what we work with. And then we get ego, we all have. And then we will get the intellect that we use. So 5 senses, ego and the intellect, we all have, those directly came from the Brahman. Then what happened? Then he gave 4 and ancient 4. They gave 4 Kumaras, also came from the Brahman. So there are names for Sanat Kumara or somebody, names are there. But that is mythology. We don't want that. We want spirituality. How can we apply to spirituality? That 4 are 4 gunas. What are the? Sattva, Raja, Tamas, and a mixture of these 3 or 4 different gunas came from the God. So we used 5 senses, and then ego, and the intellect, and then 4 gunas, and with all these 4 manus formed. This also came from. How these manus are formed? Using the 7 and the 4, the manus are formed. Who is Manu? Manu, M-A-N-U. Take out U. What is remain? M-A-N. That's for we. That Manu means the ancestor of the man is Manu. That's the man. Manishi. That is the Sanskrit word. Manishi is nothing but. That means we all share the whole these things, which came from directly from God. That means what is the relationship that we have among us? We are all nothing but brothers and sisters. That's what we have. Brotherhood has been very, very, very popular in India. And whatever we talk about brothers and sisters. That is the thing. And that is the reason even Indian, that preface the Indian oath also, all Indians are my brothers and sisters. And somebody used to talk to me when I was in a child. If everybody is your brother and sister, every girl is your brother and sister, how can you marry your wife? That we used to ask, we used to argue in our 10th grade. Because they don't want to agree. If everybody is your sister, and then how can you marry? So, I don't want. She is not my sister. Whoever somebody, she likes a girl, okay. Everybody is my sister, except that girl is my sister. Like that we used to say. But that's not. If you do the holistic attitude, even Ramakrishna sees goddess in her own wife, in his own wife. So you don't think that sexual or just this kind of activity. If you see the holistic value, we are nothing but the brothers and sisters, came from the day, and we are from the Manus who are the originator, and that's how the world is formed. That is the, from there all these creatures are born into the world, came from that Manu and the man, and we are all here. Okay. This is the way that we all came into this world. And God is further explaining about himself. What is God? God is said, I am a big magician. God is saying, I am a magician. What does the God does? What does the magician does? A magician look right there, and he puts something in the box and close it and open it. Out of that, he make it disappear, and he get 10 things out of it, and he is still remaining there. That means he can be unmanifest things, and again he can bring the manifestations of the other things. So, in the same way, God is the magician. He can exist in a manifest way, and he can also there in the unmanifest way. So, it is just like a God is a magician, that's it. It's nothing but, yes, the God is beyond magician. How a God is beyond the magician? Because in that magic show, everybody is disappearing and appearing, everybody is disappearing and appearing, but one person that will never disappear is magician. He does not disappear. He makes everybody disappear and making everybody disappear. He does not disappear. But God is not like that. He also disappears. That is unmanifested form of the God. And when he disappears, and he himself appears, in everything that is there on the stage. Inside them, hiding, he himself disappeared from the stage. That's why God is more than the magician and the universal magician and what is there is a name given for that. Magician is the word that we can't. What is that magic thing called yoga power of the divine? That is the yogic power of the divine. That is God we are talking about. Yoga of the power. What is that yoga power? Being in unmanifested form, disappearing right there in the stage. That is called yoga power of the man. And at the same time, he transfers himself in the manifestations of the different things, manifested form. That is called yoga power, and the knows the different manifestations. And if you can understand the God like this, God can. There are many people that the first question whenever atheist and the theist, this thing, first question when we school, did you see God? No. If you don't see God, He is not there. That's what we say, right? That's what the elementary when we this thing. And that's the reason when God can exist in a manifest form and the unmanifest form. If we can digest this form, and we can believe that wholeheartedly and travel in the spiritual path and make our journey with wholehearted belief in it, then you will be established in unshakable yoga and you will reach the final path till you resign with the God. This looks very doubtful to me. Will I really go there? If I Ashna might have got that doubt. And Lord is concluding this sloka with the last word, there is no doubt about it. He is clearly saying, this is not my word that I put it there. It is there in the sloka. In the 7th one, there is no doubt. If you believe in the manifestation and the unmanifestation thing and you follow the spiritual path, you will get that yogic power and you will reach the God. There is no doubt about it. Don't have any doubt and go forward, he said. And when you have that unshakable yoga, and what is the stage that you will come? You will really believe in you that I am the source of all. You will believe in it. And everything comes from me. And understanding, you become wise. That means you go to the ocean. Until then, you enjoy the ocean. Hey, there is a 5-foot wave. There is a 6-foot wave. There is a 1-foot wave. But when you get this kind of yoga, and when you go and watch the ocean, no excitement. All you see, all these waves are coming from the ocean. The waves are nothing but the ocean. These are the waves that goes and stay there for a second and then come back. You will be in the bliss, enjoying the ocean, whether there is a waves or not. Waves are there only in the periphery of the ocean. If you go deep inside the ocean, then you will see the bliss. You won't find any waves. And you will make all the ornaments. And I used to put some, we call it an vadranam in Telugu, I don't know what they call it in Hindi. And you have a necklace. You have all these things. And I show, I have this, and I have this. And so much excitement. And when you become yoga, when you get into that yoga, you will lose all identities. All are different from gold. Same gold. The same gold has transformed into the different ornaments. When all these ornaments will be going, if we give it back to the goldsmith, he will make into the big round ball of the gold where you won't see no ornaments. We see all the different pots. One is a red pot, one is a black pot, one is a green pot. So those are very beautiful. Before you get into yoga, you are all excited and decorating the whole thing with the different things. But when you get into yoga, and then will you approach that, no different pots. all these different parts are made from one clay. If you all these parts go inside that and then put some water and then press it, it will become one big bowl of clay. You will understand that kind of idea. I am the source of all. From me everything evolves. Understanding this, you become wise. And when you become wise, then you start meditate. How you will meditate? You won't meditate on the waves. You will start meditating on the ocean. From that point, you don't meditate on the different jewelries. You will meditate on the gold. Then you don't meditate on the different parts. You will meditate on the clay. Then you are endowed with meditation. That clay is nothing but the God which is there in every part. That ocean is nothing but the God whom we worship, which become various waves. That different ornaments, the gold is nothing but the God which enter into the different ornaments. And you will get that, you will try to meditate on the gold, you will try to meditate on the ocean, and you will try to meditate on the clay, and then you start worshipping the soul that are present in every person. And when these kinds of happen, how the person will act? When your mind is full of this kind of thoughts, what he will do? He will find, he won't say, hey, I discovered, please come and listen to me. I have become self-realized, and please come to me. He does not go and make tom-tom. What he do? He will try to find the people who have same kind of wavelength. Like-minded people. Not like he wants to become a teacher and other become students. There's the ego. And what when you do, if you get the same kind of wavelength, satsanga, you will find the same kind of people and bring them together. Hey, I thought like this. What do you think like that? They both of them try to develop spiritually. That's what I always tell Swami. Swamiji, I am not finding a like-minded people here where I can spend some time every day discussing about these things, and somebody and myself both can go up. And this kind of attitude will develop, and they always speak about self, God, soul, spirituality. They always speak about that, and then they get satisfied inside. All those things get satisfied. When everything is satisfied, everything is somebody who is completely satisfied inside become a happy person outside. If you have a dissatisfaction inside you, you cannot be delighted person. You cannot give light to anybody. So when you have this kind of attitude, and when you try to discuss those things and sharing the things, and then you will be self-satisfied in yourself. You are full. When you are full, then only you can give the rest of the things to somebody. So you become full and you become satisfied, and then you will be delighted, and then you try to throw your light out to the other people. That's what he means. To them who are ever steadfast, worshipping me with love, I give yoga of discrimination by Uchita. When we come to that stage, then that is not the end of spiritual journey. That is only the beginning of the spiritual journey, what he says. Because whenever a spiritual seeker, he has to have 4 qualities. That is the basic requirements to become a spiritual seeker. 4 requirements. One is nitya viveka. That is discrimination. And then vairagya. and Samadhamadi Shat Sampatti, and then Mumukshatva. There are 4 things that is in it. We are not going to details of it. Well, the first thing I talked about, Nitya Viveka, and to identify which is ephemeral and what is eternal. This is nothing but yoga of discrimination. So when you have come to up to this stage, till we talked about 9th sloka, then you surrender to the God, then the God will shower on you the yoga of discrimination, the very first requisite that you need to take off. Till then, just you are taking on the runway. That's it. But if you want to take off, then you need that yoga of discrimination, Nitya Viveka. How do you get it? You can't get it by yourself. But if you can this much on yourself, using your intellect, those who help, God helps them, those who helps themselves. So if you help yourself up to this level, then the grace starts to shower on you and pull you up to the next stage. And then you will start taking off. Then to who are ever steadfast, till now what I told, worshipping me with love, not for the things which I want. God, give me that, give me this, make my son pass, or make my get me a lottery. These types of love. What a mother wants from a child. Does she want anything? No. All she love. With no desire, selfless love. If we have the same kind of love with the God also, that pure love if you have, worshipping me with pure love, and if you are steadfast in your path, then I will give you what? This first requisite, Nitya Viveka, the yoga of discrimination. I shower on you, by which you come to me. Then the flight will take off and take you the different heights of the spirituality. Then what happens? Till then, that means God is not there till then in you? Only God comes and sits only at that time? No, He has been sitting inside you till that time. But how is it? He is just watching you. He is just silent. He is a silent witness inside you, waiting for you to knock His door. Then the mother is still there. And then waiting for a child with a food. Mother is waiting there with a food to feed the child. But she is waiting for the child to get hungry and ask the mother, Mother, I am hungry. As soon as she says, My mother hungry, she runs to him and feed him. Same way, when the God, when you are ready and when you do your job and waiting for the God, then the compassion of the Lord opens up. Then out of the mere compassion for them, for those people, dwelling within their self. I have been there already in their self. All I am doing is waiting for them to call me. Waiting for them to call me. And when Gajendra was there, Vishnu was already there. And Vishnu was already seeing what Gajendra was going on. But when Gajendra expressed her love and asked the Arjuna, Vishnu, then the Vishnu started coming and helped Gajendra. In the same way, dwelling within their self, God is already there. He does not come there from anywhere and sit you there. And what I will do, I will destroy the darkness born of the ignorance. When that Nitya Viveka has come from the God, once the Viveka comes, the knowledge comes. When the knowledge comes, the darkness gone. Ignorance is the darkness born with ignorance. And why? By the luminous lamp of the wisdom that the God showers on you, and then your life will turn in a different direction. So far, Arjuna has been listening very, 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 very carefully. He has not put even a one thought back to the one word. Oh God, this is something different. I am seeing a different Krishna today. For last 9 chapters, I have not Krishna being this fire. And then he remembered somebody told about the God. What is they told? Supreme Brahman. There is no Brahman beyond him. He is the ultimate. There is no one beyond him. Supreme abode, to where everybody wants to go and join. Supreme purifier. The spiritual knowledge can purify everything. We have 3 purifiers that we know. Fire, water, and the air. But this can only purify things. But if you want to purify in your heart, the knowledge is the divine knowledge and the spirituality. The supreme purifier. Eternal, never born. Divine person, the Krishna. The whole divinity is embedded in body of the Krishna, divine person. Primeval God, God born from long, long ago. Unborn, never born, omnipresent and everywhere. Why he is bringing all these words here without addressing it? That's what it is. This is what description when Arjuna, when his childhood, when he was studying in Gurukula, he went to different sages. Sages are 4 kinds: Maharshis, Rajarshis, Brahmarshis, Devarshis. They gave one example for each of them: Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. So they went to 4 different kinds of rishis. They all went to him. And they told, 4 of them told about the God the same things that God has told right in front of him. It is like this. In movies we see a spy goes to one place to the other. Hey, you are going to meet him and you give this box to him and he give you another bag. You exchange your bag. You should not talk to each other. Just the transaction should go. Nobody should be around to see you, and you come back and he goes back. Okay, how do I listen? Okay, I will tell you one secret here. Keep that password. And I will tell him one password. And when you both meet each other, you tell that password and he tell that password, so both match each other, so you find that person, we exchange it and come back. Same way, somebody told to Arjuna what God is, description of the God, all the passwords about the God. Here, Krishna right now is saying all his own passwords to Arjuna. Both matched. So that's what it is. All these sages have thus declared you. And now, you yourself say same to me. Passwords that I heard there, passwords you told, both match. So you must be that person whom I heard before in my childhood. I believe all this you said to me, Arjuna, Krishna, as true. Why? Both passwords match. This is what I read, this is what I heard, that's what you told, so you must be true. And I believe all this that you said to me as true, O Krishna. You are true. The gods cannot understand you. He told that in the second line, gods cannot understand. I could not go home and open a computer and Google it, cannot understand you. I cannot go to a person, a sage, who says self-realization in 30 days, I can't go and become a self-realizer. Sages cannot understand you. Now I know why demons don't understand you. Always want to fight with you and always want against you because you are a different person. I believe all this that you said to me as true. O Krishna, neither the gods, nor the demons know your manifestation. He is going into a different ecstasy. Krishna is going into the, Arjuna is going into the ecstasy. We will see next few chapters. Verily thou thyself know thyself by thyself. See how many words. You only know yourself by yourself. Nobody other than you can know you. That means if we need to know God, the God has come and stay inside you, and God should know about himself being in your body, then only you can know that God. That's what he means. And that's what he say, verily thou thyself know thyself by thyself. This is not my words, this is Sloka translation. Thou thyself know thyself by thyself. O Supreme Person, O Source and O Source of and Lord of all beings, O God of gods, O Ruler of the world. Why is talking so many words? One word is enough. Krishna, because he is in ecstasy. He is in a different world after hearing this. And he is completely coming down, tears coming out of his eyes. That made him talk all these descriptions. O Supreme Person, O Source and Lord of beings, O God of gods, O Ruler of the... So many words he told out of ecstasy after finding the person that he has been looking for. After finding the person which he had been hearing for years together since his childhood, standing right in front of there as what? As a chariot ear. He is sitting in the back. He is serving him as a charioteer in front of him. He is wetting his eyes. Such God, whom I heard about, now driving my horses, my chariot right at my feet. That's what God is. By listening all to this, he is going into the ecstasy, and ecstasy made him talk all these words. O Supreme Person, O Source and Lord of beings, O God of gods, O Ruler of the world. Then he calmed down. Now, now, Krishna and Arjuna is no more that, see, so far, what happened, so far there is a distance. Now the distance is closing up. They are become more closer now. And that is the reason when a devotee and the divinity becomes close, and you devotee can call the divine in any by names. Okay, Ore. I don't know what in Hindi they call. Ore means very wrong but very close way of talking. And we say in Telugu, Ore, like that. That means very, for other people, say very, it is an irrespectable way. But out of the love, we say somebody, I used to call my mother Rave. Rave is a very, 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 very respectable way of calling a mother. But I don't care. I am used to, I will Rave. And if somebody say, hey, why are you calling your mother like that? Oh, I am used to that. She is happy, I am happy. Like that, he is becoming that more closer and is trying to command Krishna now. That closeness made him talk like this. You should indeed tell me now more. He is commanding Arjuna because of this closeness. How you tell? Without any reserve. I don't want to keep even a single secret. From now onwards, you should tell me everything without reserve. And what you should tell? All your divine glories, which you exist in different manifestations. I want to know. You should not leave in a single thing with you. You should tell me in the words. And how you pervade all these words. I want to know Krishna. You should tell me. You should tell me. Not please tell me. I beg you to tell me. I request you to tell me. He says, you should tell me. And not only that, second thing, you should not keep anything within you not telling me. He's commanding. And why I should know it? I am also telling why I should know it. What is the reason I am asking? Because I can't sit in the 4 rooms and just meditate and putting your picture and meditate. I am a warrior. I have to go everywhere. So wherever I go, I want to remember you. How can I remember you wherever I go? That means whatever I see, wherever I go, I want to remember you. How can I remember you when I move in the world? When I know in what are the things that you are already there, if you tell me. So if you say, I am there in the tree. So when I go in a park, when I see a tree, okay, Krishna told me he is in tree, so he is a tree, and I will meditate on the tree. And if I want to go to a bar, if you tell me that I am there in the bar, I will go into the bar and meditate on you inside the bar. That is the reason I want to know in what are the manifestations that you are there, so that I can meditate on you when I move in the world. That is the reason that I am asking you. You should tell me without leaving any secret behind you. And how shall I meditate to know you? In what aspects or things, O blessed Lord, you should be thought of by me? How should I think about you? How can I keep you always in my thoughts? That's what I want to do. Hereafter, I want to think all the time about you. But tell me how I should. Because I get thoughts of money. But I want to know whether you are there in the money or not. I also want to talk about something, a big building. And I want to know whether you are there in the big building or not. So that I will know what are the thoughts that I should think of you. Tell me again. He is asking again and again, because he does not want Krishna to be very serious. He can tell me again. Krishna used again in the first sloka. Now Arjuna is using again. That's one same thing in the here. Tell me again, O Lord, your yogic power and the glory. You know what is yogic power? That's the magic power that we talk about. For I am not satisfied. You told me in the 7th chapter and the 9th chapter, and then you told me that I am telling it again. But I had it there. But you told me in the middle of the other yogas. So I did not pay much attention. But that sounded sweet. So I am not satisfied with what I have heard in the past. Now I want to know. My God, whatever you have told so far, life-saving, they are nectar-like speech. They taste me like a nectar, Krishna. Please tell me in what are the forms that you are there. And then Arjuna kept quiet. Now, this is the time the Lord is talking. What Lord says? Lord said, okay, I will declare to you my divine glories. But I can't honor your request. What you told me? Tell me entire things you want. That is impossible. And I will tell you those which are prominent. Because if I start telling you the whole thing, your lifetime and my lifetime is not possible to listen to all this. But I will tell you the glories in their prominence. Why I will tell only the some, and why can't I tell you everything? Because there is no end to the detailed description. If you want me to tell everything, because there is no end. You keep on telling, they keep on coming. So there is no end for my description. So I will tell you some. Now, the Vibhuti Yoga starts. And he tells about 45 manifestations of him that is there in the world that show actual Vibhuti Yoga starts. We're doing okay with the time. Oh, 6:30 is 8 o'clock. Okay. Then he starts with, I am the self seated in the heart. I will go a little bit faster from now. I am the self seated in the hearts of all beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and also the end of all beings. I am the one, the self, which is there present in everybody. I am the one self, like I am the ocean that is there in every wave. I am the clay that is present in every pot. I am the gold that is present in every ornament. That is the way I am the self that is present in every heart of all the beings. That is the first manifestation that he talked about. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am the beginning of everything. But I don't have any beginning. I am the ending of everything. And I am there after everything ends. And I am there before the beginning, I will be there after the ending, and I am also there, all this in the middle also. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and also the end of it. And among the Adityas, I am the Vishnu. There are 12 Adityas. And that is called, they are all son of Aditi. That was our ancient mythology. And out of them, Vishnu is the most prominent person. But rest of all the 11 Aditis share the qualities of the Vishnu. That means, if we say Vishnu, that means we have seen all the rest of them. Because like Adityas, we are also 12 brothers. And my eldest brother is he's a military commander. But all of us take him as a model. We all want to become like him because he is the model for everybody. Because all of us inherited one or the other characters of my the eldest brother. Like this, I says I am the Vishnu, rest all the 11 Adityas were there, but if you see the Vishnu, that means you are seeing the rest of the thing. That means seeing differences in one person, unity in diversity, he is explaining. In whatever you see in 10 things, you can see at one person. That means you can see whatever there in 10 Adityas, if you see what that thing in the Vishnu. Among luminaries, I am the sun. Illumine, whatever you illumine, maybe these are the illumining object, that is the illumining object. This is the illumining object. Like that we have so many illumining objects. But all these illumining objects are illumined by one person. Who? That is the sun. So all the luminaries, I am the sun. So if you worship the sun, that means you are worshipping all these things that are illuminating. And I am Marichi among the 7 Maruts. What are the Maruts? Is different kinds of winds. 7 different kinds of winds. That I know is breath is one kind of air, and wind, gale, tornado, storm, and breeze. These are some different kinds of airs. Among those, I am Marichi. What is Marichi is what? A gentle, pleasant breeze that you get in the evening or early in the morning. That is called breeze. I am that one. That means that thing is there in everything. Same thing that early morning, that breeze only is converted in the afternoon tornado and the evening storm, and in the night become a gale. In the morning, it started as a nice breeze. So this only taken the forms of all that. So if you remember, if you want to go out and if you want to meditate on that, meditate on Marichi, that means you are meditating all the rest of the things. That's what. I am the Marichi among the 7 Maruts. And stars, and among the stars and the moon, and among stars, the moon I am. when we see in the night. We see so many things, but which is the more prominent? Directly our eyes goes into one is the moon. That's what when we bring our child, we always talk about the moon. So if you remember moon, if you meditate on the moon, you are almost meditating on the rest of the things. So when you want to sitting in your balcony in the night, when you see in the night, and if you want to meditate, Arjuna, please meditate on moon. Why? Because if you are meditating on the moon, you are meditating on all the stars. Think that I am in the moon. That is the reason among the stars and the moon. But that moon is very smaller than all the rest of the stars. But that is very, very closest to us is the moon. Like a way, that is the same way, even though so many are, God is the closest to you. And they say that among the stars, the moon I am. Among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. We have 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvana Veda. All these Vedas, the mother of all the Vedas is the Samaveda. And all the Vedas borrowed substances or content from Samaveda for them to have them an individual status. Everything is borrowed, content is borrowed from Samaveda. It is the mother of all the Vedas. That means if you want to meditate on Vedas, Arjuna, you want to how to meditate? You are asking me, right? That's what I am telling you. If you want to meditate on Vedas, meditate on Samaveda. Why? Because from Samaveda everything came. That means if you are meditating on Samaveda, you are meditating on the rest of the things. So among the Vedas, I am Samaveda. And I am the Vasava among the gods. Vasava means Indra. Who is Indra? King of heaven. What is heaven? What is the definition of heaven for us? Happiness. That's why we go to Las Vegas and stay for 3 days and come. I was in heaven for 3 days. That's what we say. That means wherever you are happy, that means you feel that you are heaven. And who is the Lord of the heaven? Indra. And God says He is Indra. That means He is the God of the happiness. So that's what we are trying to reach. I am the happy. And that means if you are among Indra, I am the Indra among the gods. That means if you want to go to heaven, that means if you want to happiness, I am there in the form of Indra. So try to be happy within you, and I am right there. I am Indra inside your heart. So happiness is not there on the world. Even if you go to Las Vegas, and if you want to make yourself happy, that happiness will not come from the slot machine. That happiness has to come from within you outside when you get from $1 to $1,000. But that does not give the happiness. That happiness comes from your side. That means I am there inside you, in your heart, as a Indra, as a Lord of heaven. Please meditate on that. Among the senses, I am the mind. We have 11 senses, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and mind. And all these are eyes, all these are 5, eyes, nose, tongue, and ears, and skin is 5, and mouth, and hands, and legs, and your excretory and other things are 10 organs. Then there is the mind. But why you say I am the mind? Because if the mind is not functioning, all these sense organs go to the sleep. That's what paralysis happens. That's what coma happens. If the mind is not working, all these things will not work. So if you want to meditate all the senses, don't meditate all these senses. Meditate on the mind, because it is the king of all these senses. So meditate on the mind, then your meditation will apply to the rest of the things. And I am the intelligence in the living beings, that intellect. And whenever you are intelligent, when you think that you are intelligent, the intelligence in the intelligent is absolute consciousness. Intelligence in the intelligent is nothing but absolute consciousness, which is nothing but the God. It was. And among Rudras, I am the Shankara. What is Rudras? Rudras are the one who see our end. God, generator, G for generator, O for organizer, D for destructor. And these three are needed for the universe. But we get the death by various ways. Somebody get heart attack, somebody dies by accident, somebody will get a pulmonary embolism, and somebody was killed by shot. So the various sources of the death, ways to death, these are all nothing but called as Rudras. The Rudras are waiting to take your life. There are 100 million ways to die. So all these different ways of death are different Rudras that will take you over at the time of the death. All these Rudras, who is present? In every Rudras, there is one body is present. Third, G-O-D-D. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. The job of Ishvara is to take the lives off. The job of Brahma is to produce. And the job of the Vishnu is to maintenance, organization. So in all these Rudras, the Lord Shankara is coming to take care of your end. So you want to meditate on the Rudras, please meditate on the Shankarajana. And among Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth. The Lord of the Wealth is a Kubera. And when there is wealth, there are two people are there. One wants to protect, that is policeman, and one try to rob the robbers or poor waiting. And there is a Lord of Wealth, Kubera is there. These are the team. One who maintains wealth, and who robs the wealth, and who protects the wealth. In all these, who is more important? The wealth is important. If the wealth is not there, why should be there a person to protect? And the wealth is not there, why there should be person to rob? Because there is not. So among these Yaksha, who is the protector of the wealth, and Rakshasas, who is the robbers of the wealth, and the wealth, in these three, if you want to meditate, please meditate on the Lord of Wealth, that is Kubera, because then you are meditating on the rest of the wealth. If you want to do that, meditate on Kubera, because I am the Kubera about that. Among Vasus, I am Pavaka. That means Vasus are 5 elements, and sun, moon, and the stars, they are all called as Vasus. In the 5 elements, we have fire. And Pavaka means fire. That means fire is very, 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 very important. One common thing in all these 5 elements that is there is the fire. Without the fire, they cannot be there. In the earth, there is fire. In the water, there is fire. Otherwise, water will become ice. In the air, there is fire. Like that, in everything, even though there are different elements, the common thing in everything is fire. And that is the why it says, among Vasus, I am the fire. And among the mountains, I am Meru. Meru Parvata is considered as the center of the universe, the center of gravity is the universe. You know how much important is the center of the gravity for any kind of object. So, Meru, I am the Meru Parvata, which is the center of the whole universe. It's called me. I am the center of everything. I am the core of the everything. That means Lord is our core. That's what he is saying. And if you want to meditate on mountains, meditate on Meru, which is the center. Among the household priest, I am the chief Brahaspati. Whenever you, what the chief means, intellect, most intellectuals we call as priests. They are most intellectuals. The mythological most intellectual chief is Brahaspati. That's what we say. It's most intellect. If you want to meditate on intellectuals, meditate on Brihaspati, who is among these, he is the best known for model for an intellect, meditate, because rest of all the intellects are nothing but sharing his intellect to exhibit their intelligence. And among the army generals, I am Skanda. Who is Skanda? Skanda, he is a general. He is the commander of the war. Here there is a story. And when there is a war, there was a war between the god, demons and the divine. God and the demons. And God were using all these their spiritual force. Or all the spiritual force. And demons are all using their physical force. And they are using the physical force, they are using the spiritual force. The war is not coming to an end. It is keep on going years together. Because they don't know their secret, and these people don't know their secret. Only if you want to win the war, you have to not only know your thing, you have to know the other person's secret also. When you can hit them at the weakness of the other person, then only you can win the war. But the other persons don't know the secret of the other person, the war is keep going. Then they brought Skanda, who knows, and God is a God's person, who knows the weaknesses and the secrets of the demons, and then fought against the demons and made gods win the war. That is the name of the Skanda. So if you want to meditate on a warrior, a commander, please meditate on Skanda Arjuna. Among lakes, I am the ocean. See, wherever the water is there, the mother of all the waters are nothing but ocean. All the children of the rivers finally unite the mother of the ocean. And if you want to remember all these rivers, lakes, remember the ocean, because ocean is the one which will be finally there, and even all this may dry up when the summer comes. But the only one that remains is the ocean. Please, if you want to meditate on these water bodies, meditate on the ocean. Among the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Bhrigu is the son of Brahma. Bhrigu is the son of the Brahma. And that means Brahma is the son of Brahman. Brahma came from Brahman. And from Brahma came from Bhrigu. That means Bhrigu is the grandson of Brahman. That means if we meditate, that means if we want to reach somebody, we want to reach whoever is the, if we want to see the Trump, the best way to go to his son. Then he can take you to the Trump. So you cannot go directly to the Trump. So that is the reason, if you want to meditate on the Bhrigu, the great sages, please meditate on the Bhrigu so he can take you to Brahman. So among the great sages, I am the Bhrigu. Among the words, I am the Om. Om is the word we all hear. In the Om, it's not Om, O-M. It's A-U-M, Om. The whole creation is explained in just one word. When we say Ah, creation opened. Brahma started. And when U, when we make the round, the maintenance of the creation is going on. When we say we are closing the two lips, dissolution happens. See, we are going to see the whole creation, maintenance, and the destruction, whole the cycle of the creation can be uttered by remembering the Om. That is the reason among all the words, I am the Om. And among yagnas, I am Japa Yagna. When you do japa, you do the japamala, and you are constantly, because that's why you use japamala, because you don't count what you are doing, because your japamala will tell you how many you did, because you don't concentrate, close your eyes, continuously you concentrate on the God. Like what? One ghee thing, one part to the other part, as the ghee flows from one part to the other part. In India, they make coffee, right? When do like this, and they come without non-stop from without any break. Like that, when you ghee comes from like that, that should be the meditation. In where that meditation can be done, it is possible only in japa yagna. That's the reason when you go to this Prabhupada devotees, they all have a japamala inside there, and this is the one they took into their thing, and they follow the process. Among yagnas, I am the japa yagna. And among the mountains, I am the Himalaya. You know what is Himalaya does to us? What is Himalaya to us is no. How many sages, how many spiritual people came from Himalayas. Mansa Sarovara, even the abode of God is there in the Himalayas. If you want to see about other mountains, not about the location, he was talking about the Meru. People may ask, why he is talking about 2 times mountain? He must be something wrong there. No. He was talking about Meru is based upon the location. Here he is talking about the importance mountains. That is Himalaya. You know about Himalaya. I don't have to tell. So he is Himalayas among the mountains. And among the trees, I am the people tree. You know banyan tree, right? Have you heard about banyan tree? Banyan tree is the tree which does not even Adayar. If anybody know to Tamil Nadu, they know Adayar. It's so big tree. Okay. Maybe in 15 minutes, is that okay? Okay. Swamiji? Yeah. Okay. And in a people tree, so it doesn't have any end, any beginning. It goes on. In the same way, there is no end. God, there is no end or the beginning. It is like that. And among divine sages, I am the Narada who always speaks about God and thinks about God and sings about the God. And among Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. Gandharva is the magician. And he is Chitraratha among Gandharva. If the Krishna had said the same thing now, I am Ravi Shankar about Gandharvas, he might have told. And like that. And among the perfected, among the religious souls, I am the Kapila, who is the master of the Sankhya philosophy. And know me as Uchchaisrava, born of the nectar among horses, among lordly elephants, I am the Airavata. And you know, Uchchaisrava and the Airavata are the horse and also the elephant that came from the ocean during the churning of the ocean. If you are to meditate on the horses, meditate on the Uchchaisrava. And if you want to meditate on the elephants, meditate on the Airavata. And among men, I am the king. And king is the representative of all the men, so I am the men in the king. Among weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is Vajra. Vajra is called as the thunderbolt. And among the cows, I am the Kamadhenu, which is most respected cow of all the cows. And I am the Kandarpa, the god of love. That is called Manmadha. That is called a Cupid, because of whom we all have children. Without his presence, his involvement is not there, we would not have any children. And that is the one he is talking about. Among serpents, I am Vasuki. Among the poisonous serpents, he is the Vasuki who was used in the Ksherasagara Madana. The reason he used is Vasuki has the capacity to become the ring of the Vishnu, and also it has the capacity to become the rope of when they churn this one. So it can be so small and be so big like the God. And I am Ananta among Nagas. Non-poisonous sake, I am the Ananta where the Krishna lies with all the multi-heads, he is saying. I am the Varuna among the water bodies. If all the puddles of the water bodies there, I am the rain which fills all this rest of the small water bodies. And among males, I am, when the when we die and when we go to Pitraloka, and I am the Aryaman who is the chief of the Pitraloka. If you are thinking about your Pitrus and think about that I am Aryaman and sitting there. I am the Emma among the governors. I am the Emma who bring your, if you think about the death, think about me. And I am Prahalad among demons. And among Daityas. When you think about the demons, and in the demons, there is a divine is there, which is nothing but Prahalada. If you want to think about the bad people, divine, think about Prahalada, who is the divine in the divine. And I am in the reckoners, I am the calculators, I am the time, which doesn't have a beginning and which doesn't have. Among the beasts, I am the king, the beast, I am the king, that is the lion. I am the king of the beast. If you want to think about the beast, think about me. I am the Garuda among the birds. The Garuda has its importance because it flies very high, it goes very fast, and it can see very far, and is the speciality of it. If you want to remember the birds, if you are a good fascinator of the birds, meditate on the Garuda. Among the purifiers, I am the wind. And I already talked about 3 purifiers, that is air, wind and the fire. And I am the wind because wind can purify the most of the things in small amount, a smaller time. And among Rama, among the warriors, and he is among the warriors, he is Rama because he always fights for dharma. And that's the reason when among warriors I am Rama. And among the fishes, I am the whale, which is the largest fish that we can see is the whale. And if you think of the fishes, think of the whale, so all the small fishes will come under that. Among the streams, I am the Ganga. Among the rivers, I am the Ganga. I don't have to tell you about the Ganga and what Ganga is for us. And among creations, I am the beginning, middle, and the end. We already talked about that. Among the sciences, I am the science of the self. There is a spiritual science is the king of all the sciences. If you know the spiritual science, there is no other science that you need to learn. That's why God says spiritual science is the king of the sciences. I am the logic among controversialists. When your controversy is going on, when the Vada is going on, and there is 3 types of Vadas. Vitandavada, when somebody argue just for fighting, argument can end in the fighting. Sometimes. And sometimes when Samvada respectably talk with each other. That's what Krishna and Arjuna is doing now. And among different types of Vadas, I am Samvada where people can talk, when you talk very respectfully each other. Among letters, I am A. Because in every language, the first letter is A. Yea, A. Even in English, the first letter is A. And even the dictionary, the first letter is A. If you are thinking the A is the I am the A. And I am the dual among compounds, that is Dvandva Samasa. We will talk it later about that. And I am the everlasting time, which doesn't have any beginning or the end. I am the dispenser of the fruits. Whatever you do, all the fruits that you get, what are the results that you get, just you get out of me. It's not your own property. All the results are my property that I am giving it to you to eat for some time. I am all devouring death, and I am the death. And if the death comes to you, it is me that is coming to you and taking you over. I am not your enemy. And if somebody is prosperous, I am their prosperity. And all the feminine qualities like prosperity, we talk about Lakshmi. Speech, we talk about Saraswati. All these feminine qualities are nothing but me. And among hymns, I am the Bhrakasama. Bhrakasama is in Samaveda. There is a poetic sum. They are called as summons. They're called, the lyrics of the Samaveda is called summons, and there is a very, very beautiful and most difficult and very powerful sama is called Bhrakasama. And if somebody knows how to chant that one right, and rest of all the chanting will be very easy. So that is the reason he is saying, I am among the hymns, I am the Bhrakasama, and among the meters, very Chandas, I am the Gayatri. Gayatri mantra. And among months I am the Margasira. In common November, where all the crops are full and water everywhere is full and everything is very beautiful, and I am the month of the Magsara among the 12 months. Among the seasons, I am the flowery season where there is very flowery and very spring is there. I am the gambling of the fraudulent. He is talking about even gambling. Why Dodge is talking about the gambling? For certain times for the kings, the gambling is needed because they know how to play and how to take the risk, because that is one of their dharma. That is the reason Arjuna was very good at. So if you are a gambler, I am the gambling. I am the splendor of the splendid. I am the victory. If somebody is got victorious, I am that victory. It is not theirs. It is the one that I give it to them. I am the determination of the determined. I am the goodness of the good. Among Vrishnis, I am Vasudeva. Vrishnis means Yadavas. And among Yadavas, I am the Vasudeva, that is Krishna. Among the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. And among the sages, I am the Vyasa. And among the poets, I am the Ushna. The Ushna was a famous Kavi at that time. I was Ushna. Among the punishers, I am the scripture. Scripture is the stick that we use. And we are all the sheep. When the shepherd have a stick, then to control all those things, to punish the sheep, that means. So we are all the sheep and the God is our shepherd. So among the punishers, I am the scripture. Among the victory seekers, I am the statesmanship. And among the secret, I am the silence. Silence is the best secret that we can have. So there is no other secret other than the silence, which is better than the silence. And if somebody is more knowledgeable, that knowledge is me. And I am the seed of all beings. Everything came from me. And there is no being, whether moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. There is no end to my divine glories, Arjuna. But what I told you is a very, very brief statement by me of the particulars of my divine glories. So, please don't try to learn everything. Get this. Out of this, you try to find out what is my limitations and unlimitations. So, one is the formula I will give you. Remember that formula and take this as a mantra and rest of your life. Then you would understand me. Why do that mantra? Wherever there is, that is glorious, and wherever there is, that is prosperous, and wherever there is, that powerful, that is me. That is the formula, and you should take home, and thereby you can only explain and you can only explore what my glory is. Okay, I told all this for this long time. And you asked me to tell you, I told. And whatever I told is nothing but one small speck of what I am. One small speck. And imagine your position when compared to the whole universe, what we are just like one, less than a dot. That's what is. But what is the use of this knowledge of all these details to you, Arjuna? So what will you do after knowing all this? What is the use? That is the question that we should take home and meditate on that. So what is the use? Based upon this, we can explore and go more advanced in our spiritual journey to more about God, to know what is God, and that is the use. It is not the question to the Arjuna, it is questions to every one of us. We take this home and meditate on this and know more about our God and make our spiritual path more successful and try to realize God within this life before we end our life. I'm sorry if I took a little bit long time. And we'll do a chanting of 10th chapter. It will take around
5 minutes.
10 minutes, 7-8 minutes. And if anybody wants to do it, please follow me. Ready, Anil? 10th chapter. Srimad BhagavadGeeta, Adha Dasamodhyayah, Vibhudiyogaha, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bhuya eva mahabaho, Shrunme paramam vachaha, Yatteham priyamanaya, Vakshyami hitakamyaya, Name viduh suraganaha, Prabhavam namahashayah, Aham adishi devanam, Maharshinam cha sarvasaham, Yo mamajamanadim cha, Veti lokamaheshwaram, Asammudha samaceshu, Sarva papai pramuchyate, Buddhi jnanam sammoha, Kshama satyam dhamashamaha, Sukham dukkham bhavo bhavaha, Bhayam cha bhayam cha, Ahimsa samata tushtihi, Tapodanam yasho yashaha, Bhavanti bhava bhutanam, Matta eva pruthagvidha, Maharshayah sapta purve, Chatvaro manavastadha, Madbhava manasa jataha, Esham lokayam bhajaha, Etam vibhutim yogam cha, Mama yogeti tatataha, Sohikampena yogena, Yujyate natra samshayah, Aham sarvasya prabhava, Matta sarvam pravartate, Iti matva bhajante mam, Buddha bhava samanvitaha, Macchitta madgata pranaha, Bhodayanta parasparam, Kadayantascha mam nityam, Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, Tesham satatayuktanam, Bhajatam priti purvakam, Dadami buddhi yogam tam, Yena mamupayante, Tesham evanukampadam, Aham ajnanajam tamaha, Nasayam yatma bhavastha, Jnana dipena bhasvata, Arjuna uvacham, Param brahma param dhama, Pavitram paramam bhavan, Purusham shashvatam divyam, Adidevam vibhum, Ahustvam rishayas sarve, Devarshim naradastada, Asito devas vyasaha, Swayam chaiva gavishime, Sarvametadrutam manye, Yanmam vadasi keshava, Nahite bhagavan vyaktim, Vidurdevanadanavaha, Swayamevātmanātmanam, Vetatvam Purushottama, Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha, Deva Deva Jagatpate, Vaktumarhasya Seshena, Divyāyatma Vibhutayah, Yābhir Vibhutibhir Lokan, Imam Svam Vyapya Tishtasi, Kadham Vidyamaham Yogin, Svam Sada Parichintayena, Keshu Keshu Bhaveshu, Chintyosi Bhagavan Maya, Vistarenatmano Yogam, Vibhutim cha Janadhanam, Bhuyah Kadayah Kruptihi, Shrunvato Nasti Menutam, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Hantate Kadishyami, Divyayatma Vibhutayah, Pradhanyata Purushreshta, Nastvanto Vistarasya Me, Aham Atma Buddhadesha, Sarva Bhutashya Stitha, Aham Adishya Madhyam cha, Bhutanam Anta eva cha, Adityanam Aham Vishnu, Jyotisham Parvamshuman, Marichir Marutam Asmi, Nakshatra Aham Shashi, Vedanam Samavedosmi, Dehanam Asmi Vasavaha, Indriyanam Manaschasmi, Bhutanam Asmi Chetanam, Rudranam Sankarachasmi, Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam, Vasunam Pavakaschasmi, Meru Shikharinamaham, Purodhasamchamukhyamam, Vidhipadabhaspatim, Senānīnāmam Skandaha, Sarasamasvi Sagaraha, महर्षीणां भृगुरहं गिरमस्मेकमक्षरं यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि स्थावराणां हिमालयः अश्वत्थः सर्ववृक्षाणां देवर्षीणां च नारदः गन्धर्वाणां चित्ररथः सिद्धानां कपिलो मुनिः उच्चैश्रवसमश्वासां विद्धि माममुदोद्भवम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणां नराणां च नराधिपम् आयुधानामहं वज्रं धेनूनामस्मि कामधुक् प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः अनन्तश्चास्मि नागानां वरुणो व्याससामहं पितॄणामस्मि यमः संयमतामहं प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालः कलयतामहं मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहं वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणां पवनः पवतामस्मि रामः शस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी सर्गाणामनिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुनाम् अध्यात्मविद्याविद्यानां वादः प्रवदतामहम् अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः भ्राताहं विश्वतोमुखः मृत्युः सर्वहरश्चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्तिः श्रीवाक्च नारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिक्षमा बृहत्सामथासां गायत्री छन्दसामहं मासानां मार्गशीर्षोऽहम् ऋतूनां कुसुमाकरः द्यूतं चलयतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहं जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि सत्त्वं सत्त्ववतामहं वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनामुशनाकविः दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषतां मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहं यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुनां न तदस्ति विना यत् मया भूतं चराचरं नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तपां येष तुद्देशतः प्रोक्तः विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदुर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंश सम्भवम् अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमलं कृष्णम् एकांशेन चितो जगतु इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे विभूतियोगो नाम दशमोऽध्यायः. Swamiji, you want to say a couple of words?
No, now we'll have the Arati, Bhagavad-Gita Arati. And it was a long chapter, sorry for the time that we have taken. But it is our practice, we have to complete the chapter.
Very well explained.
Yeah, we explained that.
And after Arati, we have a Gita Harati, but it is there in Telugu, and Sarvesra will lead us. And if other persons know,
you have the Arati in the back of your book.
Yeah.
Your book has Arati in the back.
And others can follow. And after Harati, if anybody wants to any...
You have Arati. Yeah, you can follow that. Same thing.
Okay, after Arati, if anybody wants to donate anything, that all the donations goes to Sambodh Society and is a tax deductible. And if you want to donate anything, you please donate after the Arati. And with that, I think we will start the Arati. Thank you.
जय भगवद गीते जय जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारिणी हरिः कमलविहारिणी सुन्दर सुपुनीते जय भगवद्गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनी कामासक्तिहरा कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकासिनी तत्त्वज्ञान विकासिनी विद्या ब्रह्मपरा जय भगवद्गीते निश्चल भक्ति विदायिनी निर्मल मलहारी निर्मल मलहारी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी जय भगवद्गीते राग द्वेष विदारिणी कारिणी मोद सदा कारिणी मोद सदा भव भयहारिणी तारिणी भव भयहारिणी तारिणी परमानंद प्रदा जय भगवद्गीते आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी तम रजनी नाशिनी तम रजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरि रसिका सजनी जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग हरिमुख की वाणी
हरिमुख की वाणी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी होय भगवद्गीते
दया
गर्ववर्हावनी मातु कृपा की जय मातु कृपा की जय
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर हरिपद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर ली जय जय भगवद्गीते जय भगवद्गीते जय जय भगवद्गीते हरिः कमल विहारिणी हरिः कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते जय भगवद्गीते जय भगवद्गीते जय जय भगवद्गीते हरिः कमल विहारिणी हरिः कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते जय भगवद्गीते गीता मात की जय
जय
something under that plate.
Stop this.
No.
Stop it.
क्या stop it?
Stop it.
Stop.
Come on.